Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a hell of a show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want today's full show before it comes out on YouTube, it's streaming for free on the DREAMERSPRO podcast. We have pinned below. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So, as you guys know, we're talking about Kobe Bryant. A lot of us are remembering his contributions to the NBA. He's always someone that we discuss a lot on the channel. Given the fact that I'm a Kobe guy, I think he's one of the 3 greatest players of all time. Some people are saying, why don't you have him number 2 right next to Jordan? As much as I want to do that, I cannot overlook the accomplishments of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not a cornball. There are a lot of cornball NBA fans that act like as if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar didn't play basketball. Nah, I'm gonna respect Cap for what he did. So I don't see Kobe getting ahead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had a stellar resume. So I got Jordan as number 1, I got Kareem as number 2, and I got Kobe as number 3. Kobe, however, is the best basketball player I've ever seen play basketball live. Like, nobody comes better. In the 20 plus years I've been watching basketball, there's nobody. I've seen almost all of these dudes. Nobody. I've watched everybody. I've seen them play, and I'm like, nah. Someone's on a whole different level. Like, I'm sorry. Basketball is a game you watch, my boy. It ain't something you just sit down and read a stat sheet. You got to watch it. That's how you know who's good. How else do you know who's good? Like, someone was nice, and he was he was really, really nice. So even though I admit that Kobe's my guy, I still think that Jordan is the greatest of all time. But then there was a time when Jordan was discussing what it would be like if he could play in the era in which Kobe, LeBron, and all of these guys were playing in. In the interview, I asked him the question, who are some of the players that you would want to go play against one-on-one? And he started to list off different names. LeBron, Carmelo Anthony, this person, that person. But then when he got to Kobe, not only did he say that he would want to play Kobe Bryant, but he says something about Kobe that I have never heard him say about any other basketball player that has ever played basketball in the history of the sport. But before we even get into Jordan's comments, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/DREAMERSPRO. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what I want to do is play exactly what Michael Jordan had to say here, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what the GOAT had to say here.
4 years ago, he told a Hall of Fame crowd not to laugh, but don't be surprised if he steps back on the court when he's 50. No, Michael Jordan isn't suiting up for his team he owns. If he was, we wouldn't be doing this in the C block. It'd be our top story in the A's. But he has an edge over his own players, those Bobcats. Now, earlier this year, the 2nd overall pick, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, admitted MJ schooled him one-on-one.
Well, of course he did. That's a lot of knowledge there, a lot of skills. That never goes away, right? And when Michael talks, well, pretty much everybody listens. In anticipation of today's release of NBA 2K14, MJ sat down with the game's creators to discuss all manner of all things basketball.
Physically, it was a much more physical game than what it is today. You know, you couldn't walk across the lane without getting checked, you know, or the screens, you know, illegal screens, holding. You always had to pay a price. You know, be it if you were aggressive and you were a gun-ho guy and you go in with the understanding that I'm gonna get hit, I'm gonna pay the price, but you know, that's a part of the game. You know, I'm not gonna be afraid to go inside. Those are types of things that these kids don't even have a clue of how we had to grow up or how we had to play. You know, I'm playing in my camp against O.J. Mayo. He was a top high school kid coming out, and I never met him first time. In front of my camp, he starts this thing about, you can't guard me, you can't do this. You know, I got my campers here, so obviously I can't really go where I want to go because of my camp. So I stop the camp, send the kids to bed. We go back to playing. And he starts his whole thing, you know, that you can't guard me, you can't do this. And then finally I said, look, dude, you may be the best high school player, but I'm the best player in the world. So from this point on, it's a lesson. And from that point on, it was a lesson. He never won a game. I posted him up. I did everything. If I can ever show you that film, and if you can ever ask him that, ask him about the thing that happened at my camp. If I was in my prime, who would I want to play one-on-one with? That list is very long. Start off with Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Kobe Bryant in his prime, LeBron in his prime, D-Wade in his prime, Melo. That's a good start. Yeah. I don't think I lose. Other than Kobe Bryant, because he steals all my moves.
So you heard what Michael Jordan had to say. You heard him. He said that he thinks that Kobe's the only person that could beat him. Now he threw a joke in there. He's like, because he stole all my moves. Let me ask you guys a question. How many players that have come into the NBA since Michael Jordan has retired have wanted to emulate Michael Jordan? How many would you think? What percentage of players do you think that would be? Do you think it'd be more than 50%? Do you be more than 60%? More than 7%? I would say about 70%. Out of those 70%, how many of them were actually able to pull it off? Best of my recollection, 1. A lot of these dudes tried to do what Jordan could, but they couldn't do it. That's the reality. You see some of them try to emulate some of his shots, pull up, do fadeaways is ugly as hell, like clanky as hell, disgusting. Like, yo, what is this? A lot of people tried, and a lot of people failed. But there was only one person that was actually able to pull it off, and that was Kobe. Now, I've heard people that have compared Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan closely. Some people have said some of the things that Kobe does better than Jordan. For instance, some people said that Kobe has more range than Jordan. Some people said that Kobe was a better ball handler than Michael Jordan. He was a little bit more skilled. But then there are other people that said that Jordan was a better defender. He was stronger. Obviously, he had bigger hands. He was more athletic and more efficient, right? So there are pros and cons. But overall, the vast majority of the people are going to give the edge to Jordan, including me. But to hear Michael Jordan, who is the most competitive basketball player that we know of, for him to say in the public forum that I would like to play against Kobe, but Kobe would possibly beat me, or he is unsure that he would beat Kobe Bryant. For Jordan to say that about Kobe Bryant, what does that say about Kobe? Because he didn't mention any of you other dudes' favorite players. I didn't hear any of you other dudes' favorite players up there. He mentioned Kobe. So what does that say about Kobe? So if Michael Jordan is saying that Kobe could beat him in a one-on-one game, how is Kobe not top 3 all time? How is he not top 3 all time? How? Well, because I'm a hater. How is he not? I've heard people come up with one stupid thing. You know, recently, I heard Shannon Sharp go on ESPN First Take, and they were reacting to Kevin Durant's comments about being in the GOAT. And Shannon Sharp came up with a criteria that is all his own. He said that the only way I can consider you to be in the GOAT conversation is if you have to have 4 regular season MVPs, which means that him and LeBron can make it into the list. And then I wanted to ask a question if I could. I said, do you think that a player with a losing record in the finals deserves to be in a GOAT conversation? It's a real question I'm asking. Do you think a player with a losing record in the finals should be considered for the GOAT? You have your criteria I presented mine. If you believe yours is fair, do you believe mine is fair? Should a player that has a losing record in the finals be in consideration for the greatest player ever? It's a serious question. Because if we look at the vast majority of top 5 players, they all have winning records. Or top 10 players. Almost all of them. There's only 1 or 2 that have a horrendous record. LeBron is one of them. Kobe's 5-7. Jordan is 6-0. Tim Duncan is 5-1. Shaq is, I think Shaq is 4 and I think Shaq is 4-5 or 4-6 or something like that. Who else? I can't think of others. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is 6-10 or something like that. So the vast majority of them have winning records. But why would that be okay? Why would that losing be okay? So Shannon Sharpe just made it up. He just made it up because it's something that works for him. I heard something else yesterday that was quite weird from Rashard McCann. I don't know why he said it. He said that I wish I could get clutch checks too. At the end of the day, one day somebody gonna reveal the truth about these boys. One day, this year 2024, maybe the truth will come out. Because y'all been running around lying for so long. We want to know why people keep saying this about y'all. Why y'all the only ones? Why y'all the only ones? What do you mean by that? So to me, listen, that's what Jordan said about Kobe. That's what he said. So let me guess, Jordan don't know basketball. You notice that Jordan didn't bring up, we're not talking about no damn field goal shooting percentage? Oh, let me guess, Jordan don't know ball, right? Michael Jordan don't know basketball. You dudes do. They be sitting up here, twerking it up all over the place, slapping each other with honey, with honey running down the crack of your backs, hollering, screaming for LeBron James. Yeah, you heard me. Twerking it up, knocking over drinks, cannot contain yourselves, twerking all over comment sections, harassing people. Jordan don't know what he talking about? It hurt your heart that he ain't mention nobody else, did it? I'm sure it did. These are my thoughts. Whoever feel a type of way, y'all gonna have to feel a type of way. Go catch you on the next one. Peace.